She smelled like ravioli.
Now available in paperback and e-readers, Isis, All About the Goddess. The Goddess Next Door bears all in the art studio to catch a campus stalker in this action-packed Isis series mystery. Get your copy of Isis, All About the Goddess in paperback and e-readers at online booksellers everywhere. A young Louisiana woman was arrested for stabbing her grandfather in the face after he asked her to take a shower. Now, in this incident, which took place in Keithville, Louisiana, 22-year-old Carrington Harris got into an argument with her grandfather after he asked her to go take a shower, and this escalated into a heated argument where they had a heated debate as related to her poor hygiene. And as they were having this argument, Carrington Harris escalated her behavior into domestic violence, trashing belongings in the home and switching off the power to the home. Now, when her grandparents tried to restrain her, Carrington Harris broke free, grabbed a knife from the kitchen, and allegedly attacked her grandfather by stabbing him in the face before fleeing into the woods, and was found behind a nearby home by law enforcement. Now, the police are seeing this as a disturbing, isolated incident, but when I take a critical examination of the alleged behavior of Carrington Harris, it fits the pattern and profile for feminist indoctrinated women that I talk about in my book, The Woman Crisis. And it's clear to me that Carrington Harris definitely was a woman in crisis, and she possibly is a woman with extremely low self-esteem and really poor self-worth, because any woman who does not want to take care of her hygiene has an issue with her own sense of self-esteem and self-worth. Because usually most women want to take care of their hygiene, and they want to take care of their hygiene because they want to smell their best for themselves, because if a person values themselves, they want to go out here and participate in behavior that shows how much they care about themselves. And for a woman to say that she doesn't want to go out here and do the basics like take a shower shows that this woman has an extremely poor sense of self-esteem and self-worth. And because she has an extremely poor sense of self-esteem and self-worth, she does not want to participate in self-care and maintain a sense of cleanliness about her body. And that's something that can really impede a woman's physical health, because a woman needs to take care of her hygiene, because if you don't take care of your hygiene, it can lead to serious health issues. Now, those health issues range from a person, when they don't wash themselves, winding up with pimples and all sorts of sores, because when you don't clean the body, this leaves a lot of germs on the body, and those germs can turn into all sorts of issues with your skin as oil and dirt build up on the surface of the skin. Moreover, it can lead to a lot of issues as related to the vagina, including things like yeast infections, and that can also impact the person's, again, vaginal health, because if they don't take care of their vagina by keeping it clean, what can happen is this person can start to not only wind up with yeast infections, they can also wind up radiating an odor which can range from a spectrum of ravioli to that of an orange, to that of a peach, to that of Parmesan cheese, and that level of funk coming from underarms, booty, and the coochie can basically make it where being in the presence of someone is completely intolerable. And that's where basically Carrington Harris was as related to her whole situation in her home, because she wasn't taking care of her hygiene. Her family was dealing with someone who was basically radiating a stench that was just foul in the air. And as they possibly thought, oh, this girl is not taking care of her hygiene, they thought it was something that was similar to what maybe an 8 or a 9-year-old does, because many 8 or 9-year-olds, they don't like to wash because of them wanting to feel a sense of security by wearing the same clothes. They think that if they go out here and wash, that it's something that's not good. But good hygiene is something that is very important, but that's possibly something Carrington Harris has an issue with due to her issues with authority figures. Because if Carrington Harris is living with grandparents, it's sending a message to me that she has a real issue with authority, and she has an issue with authority figures, because usually if a girl is living with her mother, she gets a sense of emotional security, and that sense of emotional security makes it where a girl wants to care for herself and her hygiene. But when a girl basically is living with her grandparents, it may be an indicator that this girl is a rebellious girl who has a problem with authority, and I believe that possibly could be the reason for Carrington Harris possibly winding up living with her grandparents was an issue with authority, and those issues with authority led to her having issues with security issues, and those issues with security issues possibly are the reason why she does not want to go out here and wash. Because when a person goes to take showers, they have to be naked, and being naked is connected with vulnerability, and a person becomes fear of being vulnerable when they have a destabilized life. And when a person possibly has a destabilized life to a dysfunctional relationship with their mothers, what happens is that woman that doesn't feel safe in an environment, and they don't feel safe enough in an environment to go out here and feel vulnerable enough to go out here and be safe enough to undress to go take a shower. That could be one of the issues that Carrington Harris has as related to her issues as related to not wanting to address her hygiene. It could be an issue as related to her issues as related to fears of being vulnerable and fears of being in a place where she feels safe enough to go out here and go take that shower. Because sometimes people who are coming from destabilized situations like homelessness or destabilized situations with toxic family members, what they do is they fall into survival mode, and maybe Carrington Harris is coming from a place of survival mode where she basically has cut off all priorities and gone into full survival mode where you're not really even thinking about taking care of your hygiene and are just thinking about getting through a day. This could all be part of several serious mental health issues for Carrington Harris, and sadly I don't see the situation getting any better if she's been arrested. But one thing that is going to happen is Carrington Harris will be forced to take a shower when she is processed through the central booking system for this domestic violence incident. And as she's processed through central booking for this domestic violence incident, she is going to be dealing with authority figures that she cannot resist or defy. And those authority figures, as they process her through the county jail system, and before they take her to trial, what they are going to do is again go out here and possibly go out and first strip search Carrington Harris, and then after they strip search her, what they're going to do is then make her take a shower, because that is all part of the process for inmates who are processed through the system. So she is going to be forced to deal with all of these issues. She didn't want to follow the authority of her grandparents, but she is going to be made to follow the authority of law enforcement. And it's really sad to see this young woman winding up having to be put under the authority of law enforcement in order to get her to do something that her grandparents wanted her to do. It's really sad to see this young woman having to go through that process. And sadly, when I look at this whole situation, I just see a young woman who basically didn't get any guidance on being a woman. And because she didn't get any guidance on being a woman due to our gynocentric and feminist culture, she basically wound up becoming a woman in crisis who believed that smelling like sardines, ravioli, Parmesan cheese, and orange and other assorted smells is acceptable, and she believed that smelling like ravioli, Parmesan cheese, sardines, and accepting all sorts of filthy hygiene is perfectly acceptable for a woman. But when I look at her behavior again, it shows me a woman in crisis who desperately needs help and definitely needs the help of people in the Caddo Parish Sheriff's Office to get her the mental health counseling that will allow her to be able to get the mental health help that she needs, because all healthy people want to take care of their hygiene. I basically, again, shower every day to take care of my hygiene because I want to stay clean. I want to go out here and make sure that I'm clean. I want to make sure that I'm wearing clean clothes. And that's something everybody wants to do. Now, I know there's a trend of people out here who say that they don't like showering and that being dirty is perfectly fine. But when I look at those people definitely have some mental health issues, because I don't know about you, but I don't like the feel of sweat, and I don't like the feel of that dirty feeling that you have after a day when you've gone out here and done work. Again, you really want to go out here and take a shower to clear your skin, and it also helps you to clear your mind sometimes when you go out here and take showers and baths and have that private time. And sadly, Carrington Harris possibly isn't in a place where she can understand that it's okay to be safe, it's okay to be vulnerable, it's okay for you to go out here and take care of yourself. She's possibly scared about trying to, again, survive a situation. And again, when I listen to the whole story of this woman, she clearly is a woman in crisis, and she's a woman in crisis who desperately needs help, and she wasn't basically getting that help from her parents or her grandparents, and her grandparents basically weren't in a place to care for her because her issues possibly came from her mother and her family situation. Everything as related to Carrington Harris and her radiating the stenches of sardines and ravioli and Parmesan cheese are showing me that everything that's leading to all of that funk is a funked up mind. And again, because this woman's mind is a mess, she really needs the help of mental health counselors who can help her break the cycle of being a woman in crisis. Now, if you want to learn more about what leads to a woman like Carrington Harris winding up becoming on a dysfunctional paradigm where she believes she doesn't have to take care of her hygiene, you can pick up my book, The Woman Crisis, on Amazon.com in paperback and Kindle format. You can also pick up The Woman Crisis at other online booksellers like Smashwords, the iBookstore, Google Play, Barnes & Noble, Walmart, and Target. And if you want to see me do more videos about women in crisis, you can send a donation to the Patreon, the PayPal, or the Cash App by clicking the links in the description box. That's all I have to say for this video. You can comment, rate, and subscribe. Now available in paperback and Kindle Unlimited, Isis, All That Glitters. The Goddess Next Door takes on a bikini-clad bank robber in this action-packed, all-new Isis series adventure. Get Isis, All That Glitters in paperback and Kindle Unlimited today. Now available in paperback. From the author of the critically acclaimed book, The Man Crisis, comes The Woman Crisis. Learn why so many women have become lost in their quest to have it all in The Woman Crisis. Get your copy of The Woman Crisis in paperback at Amazon.com and online booksellers today. Support Black-owned and Black-operated digital broadcast media. www.niceradionetwork.com. Nice Radio Network, broadcasting 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.